Have you ever wondered why some people master a skill in just a few months while you struggle for years and still stay stuck? The truth is, you're not lacking intelligence. You've just been learning the wrong way. Today, I'm going to reveal exactly what's been holding you back and how to finally get good at anything. Starting right now, before you can truly become good at anything, you must first understand why you want to be good in the first place. This simple question, why, is the foundation of all mastery. It determines how long you'll stay committed when things get hard, how deeply you'll care when progress feels slow, and how much you'll grow through every failure. Without a clear reason, even the best strategy won't keep you going. But when your why is powerful, it becomes the fuel that drives you through every obstacle. Think about people who reach excellence in any field: athletes, musicians, entrepreneurs, or creators. Every one of them started with a reason that mattered deeply to them. Some were driven by passion, others by necessity, and a few by the desire to make a difference. The why doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be real. If you want to learn guitar because music makes you feel alive, that's a strong reason. If you want to improve your public speaking because you want your ideas to be heard, that's meaningful. The point is not to impress others. It's to connect your efforts to something that genuinely resonates with you. When your motivation is shallow, like wanting quick fame or external validation, it fades the moment challenges appear. You'll get frustrated, compare yourself to others, and give up. But when your motivation comes from within, you'll keep showing up even when no one is watching. That's the difference between interest and commitment. Interest says, I'll do it when I feel like it. Commitment says, I'll do it even when I don't. To find your true reason, you need to ask yourself 3 simple but powerful questions. Why do I want this skill? Be honest. Not what sounds good to others, but what feels right to you. What will it give me or others if I master it? Visualize the impact of becoming good at it. Am I willing to pay the price for it? Every skill demands time, effort, and patience. Are you ready to give that? Once you have your answers, write them down and keep them visible. When you feel stuck or unmotivated, revisit them. They'll remind you why you started and why quitting isn't an option. This clarity will keep you grounded when your emotions fluctuate, when results are slow, or when self-doubt creeps in. Understanding your why also gives purpose to your failures. Instead of seeing mistakes as proof that you're not good enough, you'll see them as steps toward your goal. Failure doesn't sting as much when you know it's part of something that truly matters to you. It becomes a teacher, not a threat. The truth is, skill mastery is not just about practice, it's about purposeful practice. 2 people can practice for the same number of hours, but the one who knows why they're doing it will always go further. Because when your actions are connected to meaning, consistency becomes easier and progress becomes inevitable. So before you start learning, pause for a moment. Look inward. Find that reason that makes you feel alive, even if it's small or quiet. Once you do, everything else, discipline, patience, improvement, will fall into place naturally. Your why is your anchor, your compass, and your lifelong source of energy. Never underestimate its power. Most people start their journey toward mastery obsessed with the outcome. They dream of the day they'll finally be good, the day others will notice, or the moment they'll feel proud of what they've achieved. But here's the truth. Results are never what make you great. It's the process that does. The process is where growth happens, habits form, and transformation truly begins. Focusing too much on the end goal creates pressure, impatience, and disappointment. Focusing on the process creates momentum, confidence, and lasting success. When you chase results, your happiness becomes conditional. You feel good only when you hit a milestone, win a competition, or get external recognition. But the moment progress slows, and it always does, frustration sets in. You start doubting your ability, comparing yourself to others, and questioning whether it's even worth it. This mindset kills consistency because you only act when you feel successful. The best performers in the world don't think this way. They find joy in the daily grind, the repetition, the routine, the incremental improvement no one else sees. Focusing on the process doesn't mean you abandon your goals. It means you shift your attention from outcomes you can't control to actions you can control. You can't decide when you'll become the best, but you can decide to practice for 1 more hour today. You can't control how fast others improve, but you can choose to learn one new thing each week. This shift gives you back your power. It keeps you grounded and consistent no matter what happens around you. Think of the process like planting a seed. You can't pull it out of the ground every day to check if it's growing. You water it, nurture it, and trust that time will do its part. Skills are the same. Every small action compounds, even when you can't see it. You may not notice progress for weeks, but one day, something clicks. The skill feels natural. The rhythm feels right. And you realize how far you've come. One of the best ways to stay process-focused is to measure effort instead of outcome. Ask yourself, did I show up today even when I didn't feel like it? Did I practice with full attention or just go through the motions? Did I learn something new or improve a small detail? These questions build a growth mindset. They remind you that success is not a single event, but a series of choices made consistently over time. When you focus on the process, failure stops feeling like failure. It becomes feedback. Missing a target doesn't mean you're bad. It means you're learning where to adjust. The process gives you patience because you understand that mastery isn't a straight line. It's a loop of trial, error, and refinement. Each loop brings you closer to your goal. Over time, something magical happens. What once felt difficult becomes automatic. You develop flow, a state where action feels effortless and learning becomes enjoyable. That's when growth accelerates. Ironically, when you stop obsessing over results, you start achieving them faster. Because your mind is free from anxiety and focused on what truly matters, the work itself. So if you want to become great at something, stop counting days until success. Instead, build days that count, celebrate small wins. Love the process more than the reward. When you learn to enjoy the climb, reaching the peak becomes inevitable. There's a dangerous illusion in today's world, the idea that consuming information is the same as learning. People read endless books, watch tutorials, listen to podcasts, and follow experts, yet still wonder why they're not improving. The answer is simple. You don't learn by knowing. You learn by doing. Real growth begins the moment you stop observing and start practicing. Knowledge is potential power, but practice is actual power. You can read every guide about swimming, memorize every stroke, and understand buoyancy perfectly. But if you never jump into the water, you'll still drown. The same principle applies to every skill. Reading about fitness doesn't make you fit. Watching videos about painting doesn't make you an artist. Mastery requires contact with reality, mistakes, feedback, and repetition. The brain learns best through experience. When you act, your brain builds neural pathways, the connections that make a skill automatic. Each time you practice, those connections strengthen. Passive learning, like reading or watching, activates understanding but not execution. Active learning, doing, testing, failing, and adjusting, transforms knowledge into skill. It's why a few hours of deliberate practice can be worth more than weeks of passive study. But here's where many people get stuck: fear of failure. They wait until they feel ready, thinking one more tutorial or one more course will make them confident enough to start. The truth is, you'll never feel fully ready. The only way to overcome fear is to act before you feel prepared. Every expert you admire began as a beginner who dared to look foolish. They didn't wait for confidence. They built it through repetition. To practice effectively, you need a method. One proven approach is the 70-20-10 rule. 70% practice. Spend most of your time doing the actual task. 20% feedback. Seek advice from mentors, peers, or self-review. 10% theory. Study just enough to improve your next round of practice. This structure prevents you from getting trapped in endless theory and ensures your learning stays. Action-oriented, another powerful concept is deliberate practice. It means practicing with full attention and intention, not mindlessly repeating the same action, but pushing slightly beyond your comfort zone. Deliberate practice feels uncomfortable because it constantly exposes your weaknesses, but that's exactly where improvement lives. The key is not to be perfect, but to notice what needs work and fix it. The more you do, the faster you learn. Each mistake becomes data. Each repetition becomes reinforcement. You start recognizing patterns, anticipating problems, and adjusting instinctively. These micro-corrections build mastery faster than any book ever could. That's why athletes train, musicians rehearse, and creators produce. They learn through the grind, not the theory. And remember, practice doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. Even messy, inconsistent effort compounds over time. 10 minutes of real practice beats an hour of procrastination disguised as preparation. Progress rewards the doers, not the dreamers. So whatever you're trying to get good at, start doing it. If you want to write, write. If you want to code, code. If you want to speak, speak. Don't worry about doing it perfectly. Worry about not doing it at all. Because every time you take action, you move from imagination to experience. And that's where true mastery begins. One of the fastest ways to become great at anything is to learn from people who are already great. No matter what skill you're trying to master, music, business, fitness, communication, or art, someone out there has already walked the path you're on. They've faced the same doubts, made the same mistakes, and discovered shortcuts you don't yet know. The smartest learners don't try to reinvent the wheel. They study those who have already built it. Learning from others doesn't mean copying them blindly. It means modeling their success, understanding the principles behind what they do, and then adapting those principles to your own strengths and style. Every master leaves behind clues, their habits, routines, mindset, and mistakes. When you study these clues, you can compress years of trial and error into months of progress. Look at how top performers grow. Almost every world-class athlete, musician, or entrepreneur has had a mentor, someone who guided them, challenged them, and showed them what great really looks like. A good mentor helps you see what you can't see yourself. They point out your blind spots, push your limits, and hold you accountable when you slip. They don't just teach you what to do, they teach you how to think. If you can't find a personal mentor, don't let that stop you. The world is full of mentors in disguise. Books, videos, podcasts, and communities of people who are better than you. Follow those who inspire you, study their process, and dissect their habits. Ask, what do they do daily that others ignore? How do they think when facing failure or pressure? What small details separate them from average performers? When you find these answers, you start learning not just the skill, but the mindset behind mastery. Another key to learning from others is humility. You can't learn if your ego is in the way. Many people want to appear smart instead of becoming skilled. They reject feedback, defend their weaknesses, or compare themselves to others instead of observing and absorbing. The truth is, every person you meet knows something you don't. If you approach others with curiosity instead of competition, you'll accelerate your growth tenfold. Also, surround yourself with people who are better than you. Growth rarely happens in comfort zones. When you're the best in the room, you stop improving. But when you're the least experienced among skilled people, you're forced to rise to their level. Their standards become your standards. Their habits rub off on you. Progress becomes natural, not because you're trying harder, but because you're influenced by an environment that demands excellence. Finally, remember to give back once you've learned. Teaching what you've mastered reinforces your understanding and sharpens your communication. When you explain something to someone else, you expose the gaps in your own knowledge, and filling those gaps makes you even stronger. The cycle of learning from others, then teaching others, is how mastery sustains itself. So, never underestimate the power of learning from those ahead of you. Don't isolate yourself on your journey. Seek guidance, stay humble, and model success until it becomes your own. The path to greatness has already been walked. You just have to follow the footprints long enough until you start leaving your own. If there's one truth that separates those who succeed from those who quit, it's this. Talent might get you started, but discipline keeps you going. Every master you admire, the writer, the athlete, the artist, the entrepreneur, became great not because they were born gifted, but because they kept showing up long after motivation faded. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's the quiet power behind every success story. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. You might wake up one morning feeling unstoppable, and the next, you can't even begin. If you rely only on motivation, your progress will always be unstable. Up one day, down the next. But when you build discipline, you no longer depend on mood. You act out of commitment, not comfort. That's how you keep moving forward when others stop. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means consistency. showing up daily, even if it's for a short time, even if you don't perform at your best. Success is rarely built on extraordinary effort. It's built on ordinary effort done consistently. 10 minutes a day every day beats 3 hours once a week. Small actions, repeated consistently, compound into massive results. To build discipline, start by creating a structure around your practice. Set clear times, eliminate distractions, and make the routine non-negotiable. When you remove the decision-making process, should I do this now? You remove the chance for excuses. Your environment should make it easier to stay disciplined. For example, if you want to practice guitar, keep it in plain sight. If you want to work out, pack your gym bag the night before. Structure supports discipline. Another powerful tool is tracking your progress. Write down what you do daily, no matter how small. Seeing your effort accumulate builds momentum and pride. It reminds you that even slow progress is still progress. Many people quit because they don't see immediate results, but when you track your habits, you realize how much you've actually done. That awareness keeps you going when motivation dips. Also, embrace boredom. The path to mastery is repetitive. You'll do the same actions hundreds of times before you see dramatic improvement. Most people quit because they crave excitement. They want fast results, new tricks, constant stimulation. But true mastery lives in repetition. The best performers aren't those who avoid boredom, but those who find peace in it. They understand that greatness grows in the quiet, unglamorous hours of daily practice. Discipline also means forgiving yourself when you fall short. Everyone has bad days. Missing a session doesn't make you weak. Giving up because of it does. When you slip, get back up immediately. What defines you isn't your mistakes, but your ability to recover from them. Consistency is about the long game, progress measured in months and years, not days. Eventually, something shifts. What once felt like effort becomes routine. Your disciplined habits turn into part of who you are. You no longer force yourself to practice. You want to, because you've built momentum and identity around the pursuit of growth. This is when discipline transforms into freedom. Freedom from procrastination, from self-doubt, from the fear of starting over. So remember, talent is a spark, but discipline is the fire. You don't need to be the best. You just need to keep showing up. Every day you stay consistent, you're rewriting your story, building strength, and moving closer to mastery. In the end, success isn't about being extraordinary once. It's about being consistent always. Being good at something isn't a gift. It's the result of persistence, focus, and the courage to fail forward. If you truly want to get good at anything, start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. And if this video gave you a new perspective, hit like, subscribe, and comment, "I'm starting today," so I know you're ready to level up. Because remember, you don't need talent to start, but you must start to become talented.